Hi, this is Dee at Aloha, Astro, and we're looking at a full moon tonight in the cardinal air sign of Libra. It's actually occurring on April the 6th, but it will be at 12:35 a.m., so excuse me, just past midnight. And you may have felt the energy building all day today, the 5th, and tomorrow you will definitely feel the energy as well. The degree that it occurs at is 16 degrees 7 minutes of Libra. So let's take a look at the forecast that I have written for this full moon in Libra. Full moon in Libra, Wednesday, April 5th and Thursday, April 6th, changes your perspective on your needs within relationship and your behavior in relationship to others after examination of past, present, and anticipated unions leads to growth, healing, and a better understanding of yourself, while the moon opposes the Sun, Chiron, and Jupiter in Aries. An increase in self-esteem, a change in values, an establishment of better boundaries, or a desire to break free from unhealthy and non-supportive relationships are all possible now due to the moon quincunx to Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus, while Venus-Uranus also participate in a minor grand trine aspect pattern with Pluto in Aquarius and Neptune in Pisces, as well as a square aspect with Saturn in Pisces. Mercury conjunct the North Node in Taurus and the Aries planets all square Pluto, and Mars in Cancer squares Neptune, emphasizing the deeper ramifications and the karmic significance of relationship dynamics. Overgiving and constantly rescuing can be just as harmful as being needy or greedy and always taking. This Libra lunation shines the light of awareness on a personal or professional relationship imbalance, prompting you to take action on improving the situation or ending it with diplomacy and grace. The Neptune-Pluto-Venus-Uranus aspects bestow the healing and transformative power of forgiveness and the ability to recover quickly from any release or loss you experience now. Be your personal best, and others will reflect that energy back to you. Let's take a look at how the chart looks in the sky here. And we no longer have the bowl that we had going on because we no longer have Mars in Gemini. It's now making its way through Cancer after 5 long months while it moved through Gemini. And this gives us a little more decisiveness in terms of looking at what our needs might be. The square that it's making here to Neptune in Pisces does activate some sadness or some disappointment or the knowledge that you need to let something go. When these two planets interact with each other, we have the fiery energy of Mars and the sensitive water of Neptune in a harsh angle to each other, and it usually results in tears over something or this feeling of not being able to hold on to what you might want to hold on to. And even if it's something you want to let go of, there can be some sadness associated with it or some pain associated with that release and letting go. The aspect patterns that help with the challenges that we have, you can see that we've got, the full moon opposition also tags Chiron and Jupiter. So what we have going on in here is that there is going to be room for improvement, and like the expression says, it takes two to tango. So it's not just all that other person or all you. There's usually that meeting point halfway, or where nobody's absolutely right or absolutely wrong, and striving for the detachment would be a good thing to consider, and also aiming for the kindness, the forgiveness, the tolerance, to be able to recognize that you're carrying around that person in you as part of your story. And even if you no longer are going to continue that story with them, that memory is always going to be there. The things that you've learned from that person and who you've become because of that relationship are always going to be with you. So, respect is an important thing as well. Um, and respect yourself, not just respect the other person, but it's important to have respect for yourself. You can see that we've got what I call angel wings going on, as we have one minor grand trine aspect pattern and a second one. And I didn't mention this one in the report simply because there's not enough room for everything. I picked out the one that seemed to dominate, which involved Venus and Uranus in Taurus, because this has more to do with the changes that you might have in terms of your tastes or desires or your self-esteem, self-worth. Taurus is that um, sensual earth sign that says, I have. It's very much about values, and it's very much about the sensual world as well. And this quincunx here to Venus and Uranus gives a little more strength to this triangular pattern involving Neptune and Pluto, whereas this triangular pattern with Mars, Mercury, and the North Node and Saturn don't have another thing really tagging it. We have a sesquiquadrate in here between the Moon and Saturn, creating some unconscious pull, the feeling of you should be dealing with an emotional situation, or you should be looking at your emotions and considering them seriously. This is where the karmic ramifications come in, with Mercury conjunct the North Node, to consider cause and effect, and that any action that you take or anything that you say is creating something. Mars and Saturn are realistic planets, um, and whatever you decide or whatever you say, it's going to affect your integrity, it's going to affect your future, it's going to affect how other people think of you. So some integrity comes into things as well. Sticking to your values is particularly important. Some people may change their, I focus on relationship, of course, because Libra rules the seventh house of one-on-one relationships and marriage. So many people will look at their personal relationships, but Taurus has a lot to do with the second house and money, how we earn our money. So many of you might change your jobs, or you might decide that it's time for self-employment, that you have it within you to be your own boss. Uh, in which case, don't burn bridges. You don't know if you might want to go back to that job at some point in time, or you need a good reference. And also cultivate relationships, because you don't know when a person that you are communicating with might become a future client of yours, or when you might need somebody's help. So that's the primary thing going on in here. And the relationships do not have to be romantic. They can also be professional, and they can affect your financial health as well. A great deal of the focus is on gaining some wisdom and some personal growth and understanding of yourself, ideally to better yourself, to become a better person. And of course, just about everything that we do in life involves other people in some way. So be a decent person, have integrity, be kind, think about how you would like to be treated when you are interacting with other people. And basically, what you put out in the world will pretty much boomerang back to you right now, especially while Mercury and the North Node are conjunct and they are interacting with Mars and Saturn. Things can become real fairly quickly, or you'll get your lesson delivered also fairly quickly. But the power in here is coming from Pluto Venus conjunct Uranus and Neptune, and the change of Uranus, the transformative energy of Pluto, all ties in to that forgiveness, the ability to release or let go, or to be at a higher level, um, and to be at peace with whatever an outcome is. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. Libra 17 degrees because we round up from 1607. A retired sea captain watches ships entering and leaving the harbor. Keynote: the capacity to gain an objective and calm understanding of human experiences in which one was once deeply involved. Old age may or may not bring to man this objective and calm understanding as one remembers the crises overcome and the quiet enjoyment of great life vistas or peak experiences, but wisdom and inner serenity can hardly develop save on the basis of the overcoming of struggles and conflicts. That is very true. The sea captain sailed his ship through storms and still waters of consciousness, his mind perhaps battered by gales, his ego crew perhaps in revolt. Now there is peace and quietude. Another generation is sailing seas better charted perhaps, yet inherently non-rational and at times savage in their fury. He watches, he knows. Others are learning. At any age the ego will may retire and contemplate and be at peace before a greater voyage over even more poorly charted seas. At this second stage we see a picture of true overcoming of storms in polar opposition to the preceding one, which revealed the destructive effect of psychic upheavals tearing apart the occult link, the antakarana, between the incarnate consciousness and the transcendent soul field, the calm mind beyond struggles and victories. Pretty much what I got when I looked at this chart. We do have the energy in here with Neptune in Pisces of the idea of memories and the wisdom that does come from having many, many experiences and many times of both joy and sorrow, because Neptune does embody those qualities, the bittersweet energy, the melancholy, the longing, the yearning, the nostalgia, the idealism and vision of something more beautiful or more perfect. And in many ways, the perfection-seeking energy of Libra harmonizes very well with the Piscean energy, because there is some idealized vision of wanting things to be in balance, of wanting things to be perfect and beautiful. So we also have the idea of the wisdom gained through life's experiences coming from this North Node, Mercury in Taurus, and Mars in Cancer, and Saturn in Pisces. That basically, we make our choices, we deal with life on a realistic and material basis, but there is always a deeper soul or spiritual meaning behind it as well. You all take care, stay safe, enjoy this full moon. I think it's the pink moon tonight, and if you're able to see it this evening, go take a look. It should be quite beautiful. And until the next lunation at a new moon 2 weeks from now, keep watching for the daily forecast, which I post almost every day, and you'll know what's happening in the sky with the transit of the moon and how it affects you on a daily basis. Take care.